All right. Here's kind of an interesting concept. I watched a video, well, I've seen it before, but I watched it again the other day about, it's about discussing the difference between left brain and right brain. The difference between analytical thinking and creative thinking, or emotional thinking and logical thinking. The video was by Frank Yang, and to sum it up, basically, he said, you pretty much have 100% mental effort, and you can divide that 100% up between your left and your right brain. Normally, unless you're a fucking genius, you only have up to 100%. So, you can either have 5-5, 7-3, you know what I'm saying. Unless you're like whoever he referenced, I can't remember who he, Leonardo da Vinci or someone. Basically, if you're an intellectual genius, or actually not necessarily just an intellectual genius, but if you're a genius kind of in both, then you're exceeding that 100%. But I don't really know if it's that black and white, because I feel like your creative mind is what builds your intellectual mind, or it's what can build your intellectual mind. Like, if you have a creative mind that's an 8 and an intellectual mind or an analytical mind that's a 2, I believe you could bring your analytical mind up without bringing your creative mind down. And another thing that I want to talk about, it's kind of related, not really, but everything has a positive and a negative. It's kind of related because left brain and right brain are kind of like the opposite of each other, but together they make a... If you use your left brain and your right brain together, it's better than using just one or the other, you know? Like a nerd, like a computer nerd versus someone who's really artsy-fartsy but has no analytical thinking. Neither of those are any better, but if you were to combine the two, you know, you get a stronger piece. Everything in life is positive and negative, or it's opposites. It's really just opposites. Positive and negative is just one form of the opposites to kind of categorize everything. Like, you could put a plus and a minus and almost divide anything that you could think of, materialistic, tangible or not, you could divide into positive or negative pretty easily. So when you think about that, you think about it being like a line with like positive and negative, right? But it's a line that gets bent into a circle. And the reason that it's a circle is because you have what's called the point of diminishing returns. And the reason that the point of diminishing returns is so important is because you do have opposites, but as long as you keep going, it's a circle, you know what I mean? Like that's why there's no end to anything. There's only an end to the cycle that you're on, and you're constantly spinning in. If you think about things in that way, I know this is really abstract, but when you think about things in the way that it's not ever a line, it's always a circle, or a spiral, if you will. It's moving either forward or back, and around and around. That's how everything works. That's what the point of diminishing returns is. Like, if you want to get in shape and you exercise up to a certain point, you reach benefits. But if you exercise to a certain point, you can just exercise to death, you know? You can almost do anything to death. You can push anything so far to a limit where it does completely opposite of what you intended it to do. And yeah, I don't really know how to relate that to anything else, but if you kind of think about that, just think about that. Think about that right there.